explain a little bit detail about the X1. My colleague, Magnus Andersson, will explain the detail.
Thank you very much, Kay. My name is Magnus, and I've met some of you already. We've spoken about the X1. I just want to take off where Kay ended here. You know, about for us being on the West Coast in the U.S. And I was driving down through Silicon Valley, and I just realized when I was on the street there, like, wow, this is exactly like, you know, browsing my favorites folder. Because all the big companies there, everything that's happening on the computer industry, it's there with so much innovation, so much, you know, very nice ideas about what you can do on a computer. And then my second thought was, and it makes sense for me to be here and for us to be here, Sony Ericsson, because we know mobile phones. And if we blend this together, this can be a true success. And this can, because this, if you look at the computer industry, what's going on, social networks, Google, everything that's happening on a computer, it's going to come into a device like this sooner than you think. And for us, it just makes sense to be there. And I think this can be such a powerful thing, being there and blending the creativity from both sides. So that's what we're going to try to do. For me, working with the X1 has been a great experience. And working with Windows, for me, I really start to see now how powerful this collaboration can be. Because we're talking Windows productivity, emails, we talk about reading PowerPoints, Excel sheets, and doing these things which are, in a way, boring, but you need to have the tick in the boxes, right? You know what I mean. If you can't read your email, you're not truly mobile. On the other hand, you have so many companies doing exactly that already. But combining that with the excitement from Sony Ericsson, we have media, we have, I think you went, did you go to the event yesterday, most of you? Yeah. So you see, we have, you know, entertainment story, media, browsing, pictures, all that. And combining that into one device, we truly think is unique. And I feel that's a very strong factor for us going forward. Have you seen the X1 already? I guess you have. You've seen pictures at least. So we had a webcast last week, and I talked about the X1 being a perfect business suit because it had, you know, like nicest materials, nicest cut, really nice buttons, you know, made with perfect love from a designer. And then when you fold it open, you see, you know, like a screaming color shouting at you, like orange, pink, purple, something, saying, "Wow, business and pleasure." And that's exactly what the X1 is all about, because it has, as I said, it has the hygienes and it has the fun to it. I really want to elaborate that on that when I do a short presentation, and please interrupt and ask questions if you have any. So if you just start looking at the outside, this is exactly what I said. It has premium material, has the perfect cut, with this arc slider mechanism, and if you look at the buttons, you'll see what I mean with love from a designer. These are not just any plastic chunks with A, B, and C on them. You'll see these are actually really nicely made, and they made with love from one of our Sony Ericsson designers. What's interesting though is not only on the outside, it's also what we've done on the inside. I've heard some people say, okay, so it's just another Windows Mobile. Yeah, we're running on Windows Mobile 6.1, and there was a reason for choosing that operating system. It's a powerful operating system, but it's not just any other Windows Mobile. We're doing a lot of things inside of the software ourselves, where Kay talked about applications, innovation, and what we want to do is we want to package our own experience in the phone and make it a truly unique Sony Ericsson experience. Because this is our brand, this is our experience.
So can I ask a question now? Or
yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so it's interesting to what you say about experience, because obviously this morning we were talking about Sony Ericsson Experience. So are you talking about creating that same experience and extending it across to this type of device, or there's a different kind of high-end experience that you're using that will be particular to the Xperia kind of portfolio?
No, I think Sony Ericsson as a trademark, as a brand, Sony Ericsson has a brand promise, delivering great products to our end consumers. The Xperia brand itself, the name Xperia is a play of words coming from Utopia, Xperia, if you see what I mean. Meaning that it should bring premium user experience to the masses.
Xperia, maybe Magnus will talk about panel concept later. That is one part very much innovative approach, which only X1 right now has into Sony Ericsson portfolio. But this is the kind of place we will try to make something unique first. Then that is really good to fit another platform, another price segment, another product. Of course, we can support that. But also, we already brought some of Sony Ericsson-ness already from existing our Sony Ericsson's, for instance, media experience to X1. Maybe we will touch upon later. So that is vice versa. New things from X1 to another product. Also, current Sony Ericsson's from them to X1. That's also happening, kind of mixing.
So one of the things that we've done here, Kay talks about the panel concept. You might have seen the panel concept on pictures, and you might have seen demos on the internet and so. But I really want to spend some time talking to you about the panel concept, because I think this is not only unique, but it's also extremely powerful. It has really changed the way I use a mobile phone.
By the way, you can see a little bit moving the active desktop. This is small effect, but my feeling is kind of heartbeat. This is right.
Yeah. So what an active desktop is nothing else. A panel is an active desktop. And an active desktop, a desktop is something that you have in front of you, right? It's the top. If someone asks me, so how do I get back? The desktop is back, right? If you press the red key, the hang up key, you get back. You get to the desktop. So what we've done here, on a regular Windows mobile device, there is one desktop, it's called the Today screen. We've seen some manufacturers, they have chosen to change that screen into something else, and you can buy clones to download your own experience. But once you've done that, it's a dead end, you can't go back. What we wanted to do was to give the user the freedom to choose between an indefinite number of desktops, so that whatever you do, wherever you are, who you are, where you are, whenever, there should always be something that you put on top. Because all of you guys, you don't wear the same clothes every day in every occasion, right? It's the same thing with people. They need different things at different times. So, show you an example, and I've seen this now, flashing around here. This is what I use for mainly when I'm at work. It's a great work dashboard. It's an all-around panel. We call it Sony Ericsson panel or Sony Ericsson desktop. It has some weather, clocks, Malmö, San Francisco. I have some RSS feeds, my calendar. I can control my phone in some different ways here. I have some shortcuts, etc. This is great for a lot of things. It reminds you probably of a lot of things that you have already seen in the Windows world. But this is just one way of doing it. Yes?
So when you, just before when you had all the panels open there, so in that mode, then when you kind of tapped one, there was a kind of updating icon that happened. So that is just a kind of static shot of what is inside the active desktop. It's not active. There's not kind of data flowing through those panels in that mode. Is that right?
All the applications are running in the background all the time. So
right.
But you're changing skin or desktop. But then on each desktop, you can also run applications. And this is where it makes it really powerful. I want you to come to that.
Okay.
That you can actually run things directly on the desktop.
Okay.
Ever think about that? You run a program directly on the desktop. You don't go into start menu, programs, and do an executable.
Okay.
You run something directly on the desktop. Let me show you an example. Some people like to refer to this as Web 3.0. I'd say maybe this is not true Web 3.0, but at least it's a glimpse of the future. This is an active desktop, and let me style this out so I can do it. What you see here is the start menu, and on all desktops you can, of course, reach the start menu as you would do on any desktop, right? But you can also run here onto the desktop. You can. So this is the MXP, we call it Media Experience panel. So it's the, if you've used the Sony Ericsson phone before, you probably recognize
kind of media browser, which Sony Ericsson is now adopting this way for wide range of portfolios. So this is the one of the things I mentioned from Sony Ericsson S already to X1.
So what you can see here, I'm browsing directly on the desktop. So from here, I'm going to say this 1,000 times today because it's so important to understand. On the desktop, we're not in some deep menu structure somewhere. We're working on the desktop, just in front of us. So that's why you have to tell me if I get boring about that. But we're still on the desktop. So now, working directly from the desktop, I'm going to show you a glimpse of the new Bond movie. And it's too bad the resolution of this one is not as good as the resolution is on this one. So I hope I get the chance to show you actually in real life, because this is stunning quality. I'm not going to show you too much of the video quality on the screen here. I'm just showing you that you can run this directly on the desktop. So as an example, yesterday I went from here to Copenhagen, and I've been using my work phone all day. Get on the train, I want to hear some music. What do? I start the media experience panel. So directly from the desktop, I can browse through my music, like this, and just browse directly on the desktop. Just basically, I just transformed my email machine, my work tool, into a media player, which uses full touch. And the only thing I needed to do was to press the X panel key. It gave me a selection of different panels. Do you start to see how powerful this can be?
I can a little bit touch upon video quality, as Magnus mentioned. Why this is good? It's a combination. First of all, this platform has enough quality, enough performance to play back 30 or actually 24 frames per second wide VGA resolution video. That means we need wide VGA display. So we have wide VGA display, 3.0 inch wide VGA display, and enough powerful platform that we can only bring this kind of quality. We can say this is a kind of DVD quality of video.
I think Kay has a very good point here. This is actually a very, very powerful machine in itself. We have 528 megahertz processor, and we have 384 megabytes internal working memory, which is quite a lot, to be honest. And I just want to show you what you can do with all this processing power. And just have a look. I'm just scratching the screen here now. Remember, this is still on a panel, still working on the desktop. There's a small aquarium, and when you see the fishes, they come swimming to my finger. This is what 528 megahertz does to you.
This is a 3D graphics native development.
And you will see they will follow my finger, and if I can tap the screen and scare them away, and so on. This is what a powerful phone like this can do to you. And why would you want to put this in your phone? It's completely useless.
But this has also hidden meaning, the color of fish. Maybe you can a little bit touch upon that.
Yes. The reason why we put this in is to show a machine like this, Windows Normal. It doesn't have to be boring. It doesn't have to be all about productivity, because it comes without saying. People know, okay, it's Windows, so I can hook up to my Exchange server. But we wanted to give, a little bit of that Sony Ericsson flavor, a little bit fun to it. So that's why we said, okay, let's do this. It's silly, but it's fun. And I haven't presented this to anyone yet that hasn't really given it a little bit of a smile, showing that it is actually quite fun. I don't know really how to use it. And as Kay mentioned, I mean, we have a team of engineers, and they're quite creative and skillful in many ways. So they came up with the ideas. Yeah, why don't we have a missed call fish? You know, showing up if you have a missed call, you know? Or if the battery goes up, why don't we change the color of one of the fishes? And we got we got a suggestion here that we should actually turn the fish upside down, floating up on the screen or so. But
the silver means the incoming call, missed call. I don't remember actually.
Silent mode is that one. So this one is silent.
Silent mode.
Yeah. So yeah, we have to talk about how to treat the fish in the sustainability workshop over here.
Will there be a manual for the fish?
there is a manual for the fish. We'll see if you sort that out. Anyways, I want to come back to this panel concept again, just to show you still it's very, very powerful. That whatever you want to have on your phone, you can have it, and you can have it on top. Let's say you want to have a radio. Let's make the phone a radio. And I haven't touched upon this, but naturally, if you flip it like this, it should. So you can work it in two ways.
It always assumes when you close that you'll then want it in a vertical.
Yes, it does.
Right.
And then you can do it like this as well.
Oh, okay.
So I was going to say something. Yeah. We have also recently announced a press announcement about having an SDK, software development kit, 4 panels. What you see on the phone here today, this is more or less what's going to be out of the box when you get it. But you're going to see that these 2 spots, when we start shipping the phone, they will be empty. So why are they empty? You might want to say, oh, isn't it better to have 9? Because you have 9 slots out there. But what we wanted to do was to help people understand that what you have on your phone, what you get when you buy it, it's not static. This is something that will continue to evolve. And just, if you get this, I hate to say it's future-proof, because I think you will quote me on that maybe next year or so, when there is so much out there. At least it gives you the variety or the flexibility to change when you want. So what I just did here, I'm going to show you again. I'm going into like a panel settings menu. So let's assume that this one was empty right now, right? What you do is that when you go into this menu structure here, you will see a list of panels that are available on your phone. We have 9 that can be active on the desktop at the same time, but you can have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds stored on your phone, depending on what's out there, what you want, how much you change, etc. Personally, I think 9 is more than enough to cover my needs for my phone. Yeah.
So 2 questions on the panel. The first one, what are the developers writing to? Is it kind of native APIs, Windows APIs, or is it kind of Flash based? You know, what they'll be actually targeting?
Yes. Right now, we are supporting Windows Mobile Native, as well as HTML-based development. These 2 is the main language actually. But in the future, of course, we are already investigating several other platforms like Java, Flash, and such. But today, our SDK offering is Windows Mobile Native development. On top of Windows Mobile SDK, we provide Sony Ericsson Xperia X1 a panel SDK.
Right.
Utilize Visual Studio and such.
Okay.
But also we will support HTML. So that's why Google make the Google panel.
I'll show you in a bit. But what Kay is mentioning here is quite powerful, because working with Windows, Windows is nothing new. It's been around for a while. There are lots of energy out there. Where there are lots of applications already available for Windows Mobile. So it makes sense for us to leverage from all the work that's already been done out there. And I'll show you one example, which is, I'm just going to go back here, and that's the SPV panel. SPV is a company, it's a Russian company, who specializes in software for Windows Mobile. And what you see here, it's the SPV shell. It's one of the most downloaded applications on the internet for Windows Mobile. And what it does is that it actually transforms your today's screen into something else, into an SPD way of navigating your phone. Looks like this. It's quite nice, I think. You know, have some nice transitions, and you can. Yeah, it looks like this. If I close it, it looks like this. In a normal Windows Mobile, what you would have done is you would have installed this program, and after the installation, your phone has changed. There is no turning back.
Yeah, this is a really good example because Windows Mobile, already Microsoft has tons of in the market. They knew how to develop Windows Mobile application. So our offering is, on top of Windows Mobile development environment, we will put some kind of plugin, easy plugin to make Sony Ericsson panel. So for them, it's easy. They can start now to develop new panel and such.
So
that is the
think about
one
what
thing.
I said about running applications directly on the desktop. Let's say that you have an application out there already. What SPD did was that they took our panel concept, the panel SDK, they encapsulated what they had already done into the panel concept, and we let it be one out of the panels. So as a user, you can have this panel, you can try it, you can do it, but it doesn't, change your phone forever. And think about this. This is truly unique. This is Windows innovation.
Is it possible that the panel pops to the foreground based on events? For example, if a new email is coming in, so the message panel comes to the front or whatever? Is it event-based?
As I said, a panel is a desktop, and whatever the user chooses to have as his desktop, we have let that to be an active choice. I think maybe what you refer to would be more appropriate maybe for an application.
Yes, but if I have, for example, I have some kind of messaging desktop with all the messaging stuff on it. So if I get a new message and I'm listening to the music, I want that this desktop comes to the front and not an application start, because all my messaging stuff is in this desk.
We have not done it this way because we want the user to set whatever he wants to have as a desktop. Maybe it's something for us to look into.
No, maybe I can say like this. As Magnus showed, Sony Ericsson panel already. For instance, Sony Ericsson panel has already mail icon there. If you have the new email just received, some small red signal is there. How many unread message you have right now? So it's kind of active because this has the active sync exchange server mechanism.
But I have to change myself the desktop from time to time to go to this Sony Ericsson desktop to control it.
If you receive an email, you would automatically go to the messaging. For me personally, that would be kind of annoying since I receive emails all the time. But this is what Kay talked about. You have 400 messages here.
But that is a good idea. Maybe I have to think what next messaging type of panel we can offer on that. That's really good input. Thank you very much.
More questions?
How many downloads have there been since you released the SDK? Just to see what the level is.
I remember we
We've actually
discussed
been
this.
asked that question a couple of times actually last week because we were speaking with some analysts, and I have checked with our Developers World team, and they say they will have the stats this week. So if you drop me a quick email, I can let you know as soon as I know.
I want to comment on something, a question that we got also, when someone asked me, so what's the price of the device? And you go, yeah, it's quite expensive, and they go, oh, okay, so you're not going to sell that many. So who do you actually believe would want to develop onto your platform? Because you're not going to sell that many phones at the end of the day, But here's the thing, like working with Windows, it's very easy just taking what's out there, encapsulating into the panel concept, and it doesn't exclude anyone. So if people or companies have developed onto Windows Mobile before, what we give to them is we give them the opportunity of running their applications directly onto the desktop. You don't, in a normal case, you will have to do what I'm doing now. You press start, you go into programs, and you have to scroll down to the list, and here in here somewhere you find some application that you've downloaded. We let these companies showcase what they have, and you can put it onto the desktop directly in front of you. I think this is so powerful. This is a paradigm shift.
And the user change all the 9 panels, or is it only the 4?
The user can change the eight panels.
Okay.
There is a Microsoft panel which we have decided to lock in there. We want people to be able to recognize their Windows Mobile. So, this one here is locked, and you will see that also when you flip around. The other ones here you can change as you want, and this one is here. But all the other ones, change them, have a go, do it the way you want. More questions?
Are there any plans to use another operational system besides Windows or just Microsoft?
Well, what we're doing today is that we're announcing the X1, showing this product, and we never want to comment on anything what we do, but Sony Ericsson, we sell a portfolio, and we work with many different platform vendors, and we work with many different product propositions. And as you might know already, that we have lots of phones running on different operating systems. So the Sony Ericsson offer, and that's what's most important to our customer, is not based solely on Windows Mobile.
Do you have to make any additions to the interface based on gesture, moving the device, tipping on the display?
Yeah, we have some interaction with the screen, of course. I showed you the fish, maybe that's a bad example, and the MXP where you can scroll with the fingers.
Yeah.
Then this phone does not have an accelerometer, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
But one thing, in the market, of course, one of the very big things last year and this year, Apple bring their iPhone in this industry. They are very much targeting, focusing on finger touch, gesture, finger touch, touch. But I actually thought when start this project, we would like to, at least for this product, we set the merge interface. We have normal four-way key. We have optical joystick that is kind of mouse, finger touch, maybe Magnus can show. That is the, kind of mouse has the laser, right?
Can you see my finger now? Yes. I'm just touching on it.
Of course, you can touch screen itself. So for me, this is a kind of merge interface offering, because some people love to just using stylus. Some people like, iPhone that kind of gesture. Some people still like normal four-way key approach. So we are now offering its kind of merge navigation offering for this X1. I'm sorry, this is a good answer or not, but at least this is the fact.
Which is the processor you use?
It's a 528 megahertz processor.
But which brand? What is the maker?
Normally we don't comment on what platform we're using. So because we want to focus specifically on this being a Sony Ericsson Xperia. More questions?
Can I just ask about time to market for this device? This is the first device you've done on Windows Mobile. So
Yeah, good question.
Perhaps it was slower. What would you expect your expectations to be for a subsequent device?
I feel really, really proud to work on the X1 team because we've done this in a very, very short time. It's been a great team to work on. We announced this product very early in the development phase, which has led to speculations that it's maybe late or that we were that it's taking so long time. But if you look from the start of the development to the end, we've done this really, really fast.
So what is
So
that?
we decided to announce the product. We did it very early. Mobile World Congress was a very good venue to announce it. I don't know if you saw, we got some reactions on what we were doing there, which was very good. So I remember having this discussion, is it wise to show it so early, maybe things need to change, it should be wait. But the impact that we got from showing it there, and I think we actually also, it was a surprise to a lot of people in the industry at the point. So given that, it was really great for us coming out at the time.
Okay, so the time to market for this, so it was in development for, can you say how many months it took as a ballpark?
I don't want to comment on exactly what the lead times are for certain things. I like to keep that as a secret, but I can tell you we did this really fast, and we are very proud of saying so, because that's really true.
Is there anything that you would change about what you've done or the Windows operating system? Any optimizations you would like to see from you having used the platform and taken it to market?
There are several unique components. As I mentioned, wide VGA. This is the first product in Windows Mobile to have this kind of high resolution. Of course, we have to have the special drivers on top of Windows Mobile. That kind of tuning, of course, we did.
Yeah, sure.
But what Magnus wanted to say is, this project setup is quite unique. The total development time is maybe similar as our Walkman phone, for instance.
Okay.
But in the very beginning phase, we already made almost 80% final product. Then we tune performance, quality, and such. That is the different way, actually, we have right now. So total TAT itself is a little bit less than our major product like Windows Walkman phone or CyberShop phone. But the point is we can spend more time for the quality tuning or special driver development and such.
Can you comment a little bit on the role of HTC? I've seen an early device where I've seen a lot of copyright by HTC info screens and so on.
Yeah, I'd like to comment on that. This is a Sony Ericsson product.
Yeah.
HTC is, we normally don't talk about HTC, it's one of our partners, we work with many partners, but we're using their factory for instance, just like we're using a BMC factory for a lot of phones in China. And the most important thing to keep in mind here is that this is a Sony Ericsson product, it's a Sony Ericsson user experience. I talked about how we blended in Windows together with our application storing and our entertainment and so on. So when it comes to the software side, it's the Sony Ericsson team putting this together. When it comes to the actual physical design, there is a Sony Ericsson designer. And there was actually a Swedish newspaper running this as a big article yesterday. And this is not, we're not just stamping on Sony Ericsson to this. This is a true Sony Ericsson user experience. We want to show that what you can do with Windows. Windows is not our operating system, it's Microsoft's, right? But having that and blending it into what we can add to that, that's the perfect blend. So this is a unique, truly, how should I say, a unique Sony Ericsson user experience, Sony Ericsson brand, and this is our brand promise.
Is there a Plano Plus client available for this device?
When we're launching this product in a couple of weeks, there will not be a demo functionality in the phone as such. But there is a lot of exciting things happening, not only within Sony Ericsson, but also within this project. And I hope that we have some more exciting announcements to make in the future.
Good thing is this panel concept is downloadable. Even we can start business, end user can get new things right anyway. That's only I can say.
So what's going to happen when people get their phones? You're going to press this key, you're going to choose one of the panels, or choose one of the empty spots. You're going to click this more panel, and the tape will come down outside. This is now actually not so well done with in development, so we haven't gone live with our panel concept for download. But what I wanted to say was that in this panel menu, you will be able to reach more panels instantly, and whatever is going to be out there, you can reach it from there. Or through the Handango store, or through the Sony Ericsson website. So there will be lots of ways of getting new panels. I saw lots of handscapes.
Will it be something similar to Apple's App Store? For that iPhone?
And this is offered through the Handango store for Windows Mobile applications. We have our own fun download sites which we've used for many years already. And so there will be loads of places to find these panels.
Which carriers have signed up to distribute this device so far?
I'd like to let them comment on that. I think some of them are still, want to do their own press announcements and their own things about it. We're working with a couple of partners, network carriers. And, I don't want to disclose who they are today. Maybe you know, but I don't know.
So you offer tools to migrate data from older Sony Ericsson business phones to the new one? So you have completely different operating systems. So for example, 901 or...
You mean that if you have all your business contacts stored
on an old phone, all the stuff, I just want to change my phone and start one application and everything is on your phone?
Yeah, that will work. That will work. And in some stores, I don't think all stores will have that. Some stores will actually have a specific tool for, they plug it onto your own old phone, take what's out there. And not only a Sony Ericsson phone, it could be any phone. They synchronize it for you. But naturally, one of the great advantages working with Windows, coming back to what I talked about, hygienics of a phone, if you're synchronizing through your Exchange server or your contacts, Outlook, all these things work really well. Comes without saying. Oh, any more questions? How are we on time, by the way? We have 5 more minutes, I can see. So, there's so much more to tell about this product, really. I can probably go on forever. But what I wanted to focus on today was the panel concept. I think it's a unique concept, and it's important for me to tell you about how we work with active desktop and how you can change your phone from different locations and make it your phone wherever you are. Make it exactly what you want it to be at that specific moment.
Magnus, what applications are you planning to ship with the device over and above what you've shown us? So we've seen kind of Google Maps, for example, other things. Are there other things that are going to be on there in terms of navigation software or editing software or those sorts of things?
It really depends a little bit from country to country, because we have localized offers, naturally. Google Maps is on there. We had to go with it earlier. There is an Opera browser in there. But then again, it's a localized offer, so it might vary a little bit from country to country. And then the whole Office suite is there, where you can read PDF files and PowerPoint and Excel sheets.
What part of this have you developed in the San Francisco office? Is it the software, the hardware, or both? Both, yeah.
So what we're doing is that we're gathering all the troops in San Francisco. We naturally work a lot with different partners. We use some support from here in Lund. We use some support from HTC in Taiwan and from other partners as well. The main office is there, and that's where all functions, specification, hardware design, software design, and the creativity itself.
Will it come with Flashlight 3 support?
It will not come with that initially.
Not initially.
Did you make any additions in the security area? For example, encrypting the whole thing?
No, we did not.
It's Windows. It's secure.
We're using Windows, and if we wanted to reinvent that, we would have used another operating system. Just showing you here, this is a bad example maybe. It seems to have been a very bad day when we took the photos of this place. You can see here it's very cloudy. But what you see here is the Google Maps that we're shipping with. another great application is the Opera browser. With a short tap on the screen, you can see what's going on my Facebook account.
In your Zoom as well. You can Zoom key
On the side here. And I have an incoming call. So let me show you
silent mode.
send text, and you've probably seen this. This is from Windows. But I'm busy right now, so I'll call you back later. So
It's easy.
I might have to do a phone call after a couple minutes ago. Yeah, it's a very good example. So let's now, to round this off, why don't we have a look at the missed goldfish? Seems very urgent.
Maybe Dick Comiano.
It could be. Some more text.
Then now, another fish.
4 fishes. The missed goldfish.
Come on, Magnus.
Goldfish don't work.
That's great.
So we'll deal with that later. Huh?
Well, what's the supported bands? There was a little bit confusion if there are two different versions, one for North America, later one European, Asian version. So it is quad band GSM, for sure. And how many bands for WCDMA? Is it tri-band or quad band as well?
It doesn't have CDMA. It's
WCDMA. UMTS.
UMTS, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Yeah, how many bands are there? I have to check, double check in our white paper to give you a correct answer. So
Yeah, the white paper currently speaks about the X1i and the X1A.
we have two different versions. One is tailored to the US market
Okay.
and to other markets in the world having that configuration 850.
Yeah.
And then there's a 900 version.
So the white paper is correct. What?
The white paper is
Okay.
yes.
All right. Thanks.
So yeah, I think we're last question maybe.
Yeah, I was just wondering what is the development of panels. Are you hoping for a sort of open source community, or will it be more commercial businesses developing things for that?
I'm hoping for both. Yeah, there are so many exciting things out there. And, we've seen companies who have already solutions. They just make it, encapsulates it into our panel concept. Private people come and say, I have this great idea, I want to do this panel, and they can do it. And of course, there are lots of companies that we work with who have great services, and they just want to make sure that they can have their great service on top, directly on the desktop. So, having that said, thank you very much for joining. I hate to interrupt you, but we spent 45 minutes here.
Our next workshop is at 2 o'clock, and that is the Future Technology Workshop. You can see TOs on this. So we have about 5-10 minutes for toilet break.